Hello everyone, this is Rexer of the YouTube and sometimes Twitch channel NotQuiteThereGaming, bringing you a little addendum to my Frost guide. And when I mean little, I actually really want to make it a slight tiny addendum. First of all, let me just show you that I completed my reformatting of Frost, with some mistakes, not the 3 forma but 4 forma, because I made a mistake during the experimentation process. But a few things that I wanted to cover. First of all, bombards suck. I don't know if I got that point across in my actual guide, but seriously, they suck. I mean, after wave 25 in T4 defense, you better watch out, man. You better watch out, because that shit is going to hurt. After wave 30 in wave defense, they can one-shot the pod. And I found that out the hard way. And a few other things I found out the hard way while playing some more Frost. After a certain point, the amount of effective HP that your Frost globe, your snow globe will have, will no longer be relevant for anything at all. Like none, zero, none, zero. Only the invulnerability period will count, and if you're lucky enough to charge the invulnerability period with a few shots from bombards, then the globe might actually last a few extra seconds because of that charge, but you probably don't want to rely on it. Another couple of things. This build has a good range on the snow globe. Bombard shots will not get through to you next to the pod or the pod itself, but if you want to play in a team with other people, you might want to consider giving them a little bit of a tutorial, maybe a boot camp, like some tips. For example, tip number 1. Do not go up against the very edge of the snow globe and stick your face against the glass, because you will die. And after wave 30, the person who will come in to resurrect you will also die, and the person who will come in to resurrect those people will also die, and then only Frost is going to be left. And then I made the mistake of going in to resurrect them while dropping a snow globe. But of course, the snow globe lasted 4 seconds for the invulnerability period, then got vaporized, then I died too, and then the bombard destroyed the pod in the split second that it took me to revive with an entirely downed team, and dead. So, what is the conclusion? When you are playing Frost with teammates, do tell them that they should keep at least a few feet away from the edge of your snow globe. Preferably for this range of snow globe that I was suggesting to you, tell them to keep as close to the pod as possible, just as a rule of thumb. Just tell them that, or else the range of the snow globe itself will completely be invalid, because bombard explosions will still get through. Now that's one thing. Another thing that I wanted to suggest is, very grudgingly, I wanted to suggest, I don't like it, but you might want to consider, for example, doing something extremely crazy like onslaughting Intensify and putting in Overextend. This will severely damage your snow globe's effective HP and the ability for you to tank lower level content than Tower 4 defense after wave 30. But the extra range you will get will be really good. Really good, really valuable. I don't know if you want to experiment more, maybe you can do Intensify instead of Stretch. Depends. Now the idea is, with a very high range of snow globe, you don't have to idiot proof your teammates, to put it like that. with a very high range of snow globe, you can just tell them don't wander past the consoles, okay, and you won't get dead due to AoE splash damage from bombards. That's the plan, at least. Now, the other thing we need to cover when talking about this, there are two scooping strategies, because I still insist to use that term, that I discovered in the meantime. First one is stutter step scooping, which is useful when you have enemies coming in from only one direction. If you have, for example, the far side single door on Tower 4 defense and you've cleared out all other enemies, and do be sure that you have cleared out all other enemies, because if someone comes in from the back and one-shots the pod, well, you're just an idiot. Thankfully, it hasn't happened to me yet. So, stutter step scooping. How does that work? You drop a snow globe against a very powerful front of enemies, wait 1, 2, 3, step forward, drop another one. 1, 2, 3, step forward, drop another one. Now this is perhaps not as useful as it might be, because let's address it. So you don't need to step forward a lot, you just need to step forward a little bit so that the edge of the new snow globe overlaps, goes in further than the edge of the previous snow globe. What would you gain in this situation? You would gain, presumably, the ability for your snow globes to present a united front of effective HP and all be charged for roughly 3 to 4 seconds of invulnerability time. The problem, of course, is that bombards do ludicrous amounts of damage, and I have still not determined if the area of effect damage from bombards will destroy snow globes under the snow globe where the projectile has impacted. And I strongly suspect that area of effect damage from bombard shots will in fact deplete health points from all snow globes in the exact same area, which would suck even more. But I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on it. Now, the stutter step snow globe strategy does work if you want to advance slowly and if you have enough range on your snow globe in order to accommodate a few extra steps without getting vaporized by projectiles, you know, stuff like that. But another scooping strategy is the very, very simple greedy scooping strategy. Just drop the snow globe in the exact same place every 4 seconds religiously. And this is what you're going to have to do if you want to go past wave 30 or past wave 40, unless you have another sort of gimmick. I have heard about other Warframe gimmicks, though if you've heard about any involving irradiating disarm and Loki, the fact that irradiating disarm goes through nullifier shields has been fixed, so that might not work anymore. So, you know, keep that in mind before you venture into wave 60 with Loki irradiating disarm and just find things not working as you might have thought they would. So yeah, scooping, so dropping snow globes every 4 seconds is very stressful, so I don't recommend it for everyone. I'd maybe rather recommend that you just stop at 20 or 30 if you really want, unless you want to go really high, in which case you're going to have to deal with it if you rely on Frost for defense. Just rely on the invulnerability period only. And this build, this high power efficiency build, is good for that, because obviously you can spam snow globe. And so for a full charge of Frost energy, you'll get about 40 seconds of just invulnerability from snow globes in that case. Another thing I wanted to address was, I think I figured out the situation between snow globe and infested MOAs. Whoopsie, wrong button. So snow globe and infested moas. The Eximus that was giving me trouble was actually elevated. So here's how it works. I do believe that infested moa shots are stopped by snow globe, but as usual they are stopped on the very edge of the snow globe, on the very edge of the sphere, almost sphere of snow globe. And when they are stopped, they detonate as usual. For infested moa shots, for the the damage puddles, that means that they detonate on the spot and they create a puddle on the spot. But infested moa puddles will not settle in mid-air on the snow globe. Instead, they will fall vertically down to the nearest point on the ground. Which means if you have a moa on the same elevation as you, they will shoot at the snow globe. The shots will stop at the snow globe's edge, and then the puddles will drop down, and half will be on the outside of the snow globe, half will be inside of the snow globe. If you have an infested moa with elevation on the snow globe, they will fire down at the snow globe. The shots will detonate on the top of the snow globe and then fall straight down into the snow globe itself. That's the way it works. Frost. You used to be invincible. Now you're just... oh well. So, another thing, if you really want to use... to have maximum rage out of your snow globe, in certain situations, for example, where your path, the attacker's paths are not easily predictable. For example, in Dark Sector Defense on Say Many, where you have that moving pod. I know it's against infested, but just to exemplify a point, you have the first position where you have that one ramp where enemies will be approaching from. You can actually move forward, catch the pod with the back edge of the snow globe, and get a lot of extra forward moving range with your snow globe. Okay, so that's about it for me rambling about Frost for today. Obviously playing Frost is very tedious and very hard. Sadly, I've been doing some research with other Warframes, and I prefer to do Tower for Defense, and then we die because Frosts are still trying to use single snow globe strategies in defending the pod and running away and stuff. And please, if I propose that you torture any Frost that loses you a mission by having them be forced to watch my Frost guide in its entirety from start to finish, plus the addendum. They might learn something. I mean, not all Frosts are bad, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's just so embarrassing when they run around on wave 30 with just one snow globe on the pod, and you just want to say, look man, you're not supposed to do that, but you don't want to insult them. But okay, so that's enough for Frost for now. Thanks everyone for watching this addendum as well. I know the Frost guide was very long. I hope it was useful to you. This has been Rexer of the YouTube channel and Twitch channel NotQuiteThereGaming, signing off for now. Bye bye people.